Good morning. Looks like I forgot to put on the music overlay. Oh well. Uh-oh. Yeah, there's something coming back. It's struggling. It's doing something. I might know what that is, and I also... I wish I had better feedback. I guess one thing I can do is... well, we can look at connectivity versus bandwidth. Okay. So there was some loss at intermediate connections. Naturally, it's fine until I start actually doing stuff. All right, and for the bandwidth check. Okay, yeah. Well, something was downloading. Something is definitely still uploading. Well, if it started once, it can start again. Alright, so that should stop that source, although OBS is now debuffering. Is there something else that's doing that, or is that just OBS debuffering? Network. Firefox, it doesn't really break down in and out. No, not that. Ethernet. OBS doesn't really have any indication of how backlogged it is, if it is backlogged. Actually, do you have OBS? Yeah, so that's OBS using more than it would normally use, so it must be debuffering. Despooling. Unfortunately, it's going to consider that dropped frames up until it gets caught up. Oh. So it's no longer dropping. Starting by network, yeah. One of the things is bouncing, so starting by network doesn't actually hold it. Okay, so yeah. My neighbor had a little issue with the pipes that might, well, it's actually my pipe, which is the annoying thing. So I wanted to get some pictures uploaded. They weren't uploading earlier, but it seems that when that works, it is actually saturating my connection. All right, anyway. So FPS, well, there was FPS redetect, but I think I may have actually forgot to copy the program because I also didn't relaunch there. I don't, I could probably figure out how to force that. We'll just wait and see. But the real problem here is that something that Jason did in his changes touched some stuff that we did, and it seems to be stopped here. Set animation emotion. Really? He removed a test, and it completely broke the patch. Okay. Oh, okay, so yes, yes, we know, we're working on it, and yeah, it's the same bug 3 times. How? Really? I thought they said there were 3 unmerged sections. Well, I've just done it, but get status. I guess that was the status of all of the sections? Anyway, so now we have to add game source. And STG refresh that patch. Oh. Uh... Okay, I thought that's what I had to do. It's been a while since we've had any conflicts. Okay, so that's flooded with git bases. Git add STG refresh. What does git add update do? The index just where it already has an entry nothing past. Adds no new files. Just where it has an entry to match the working tree but adds no new files. Head and top are not the same. So STG repair has actually kind of, well, it still doesn't tell me how to do an STG rebase, just what the command is. Man page, man page, man page. Being rebased by get rebase. Rebasing a patch series. STG rebase. Or conflict. Doesn't tell us how to handle patch conflicts. Get rebase. It's a man page again. Does not apparently do what I want. STG reset minus hard. Get remote update, conflict. STG reset. Dry run. Rebench to preview the rebase. Export the patch series. Create a temporary branch. And then import them back. Oh, and then that, and then rebase. Git add update. Head and top are not the same. STG add update. But he's saying update. What the? I must have done some stray command. So what the heck is going on? This thing comes up every time I open the stinking GUI. So we've got this unholy mess. So master st get rebase conflict. So we would want to reset there, I think. Well, it's going to rebase into, well, there has to be some stray command going on here. So if we can ambiguous argument 15723 overridden by merge, cannot merge. What? What? Well, all right, we're gonna have to do this mess again. So now where the heck are we? So status thinks we're here. Series thinks we're back here. Right. So I think we're back one. What is it? Index? No. No. Show, oh, and then this is all the diegetic temperature stuff. Which we have no way to deal with, so we're going to have to get rid of all that. Okay, it's ahead. STG series is still there. I'm going to try a operation here just to make sure. Okay. Seems to be okay with that. Now we're going to get a conflict. So we repair the conflict. Yes. Do get status. Git add game source living life like every other time we've done this. STG series. STG refresh. And it's fine. Now, at some point, we are going to hit patches we don't really need to work with. I guess I should push them all up just to eliminate conflicts. Although some of them are getting pretty old by now. No patches to push. Okay, so STG pop. So step 1 is STG export custom get ignore to name assist. CD patches master. Yeah, so all that stuff. So we could well, I'd have to do a new version to publish an update because it's a different patches. The way we've got things set up, even though it's just kind of a tweak, it is a patch change. Probably we're not going to have any feature updates to publish today. So load file. Patches master readme. So I haven't proven that the relaunch works yet. Actually, I might be able to do that. So it would go into or even in the build. If we use the base, no, not the base one. If we use redetect in any of them. This is not current. Okay. No, to use a redetect, I'd have to have a version. And this needs to be renamed to V204. So if we have like this one, where we have, this should still run. Oh, although we're set to auto launch. So I actually need to turn off auto login. Nope. Oh, I was manually messing with the version file here. Data version number, binary. Specifically to check those updates. Oh, and then auto login. Nope, it was off anyway. And as long as I'm thinking of it, settings. I want to make sure this is logging into my server, not into the public servers. All right, so 199 mod client. Before, when we did redetect, it effectively relaunched the program. Oop, I may have messed it up there. Yeah, I messed it up by moving the window. So there's the normal one. And that, okay, that did relaunch. So the relaunch probably works. Probably. This will now. This also adds same program relaunch and client version mismatch and then change log. Let's see. Should relaunch mod from game updates and FPS detect attempts to detect changes in base game client version and notify player with download link. And then this will also include the update so it actually works. So we do git status. Update, readme, and change log. And then we have git tag v10. All right, now I should be able to go publish that. I'll shut down server for a minute. That was the wrong shutdown. Shouldn't have done much. No, let's build server fetch. We won't build client fetch. Windows client build. So hopefully we'll be able to get that going pretty soon. So that's our patch update. I think relaunch was just I forgot to actually update the executable. So I think the main thing that's been, well, I can check my to-do list. Yeah, I was doing some play around with interactions. Where did I put that spreadsheet? So I think we took care of this. Auto update is a bigger, these are all, still not sure about this one. Some of these are pretty big projects in and of themselves. I think that's somewhere I had done. And actually, I guess I just put that there. I had done a spreadsheet where I was thinking about base game stuff. There's an easy way to fix it. Yeah. So we've got all these contextual things. So the thing we're concerned about is trying to disambiguate clicks. So eat backpack could be an interesting one. I could probably deal with the positioning cases in that. That's probably going to be one of the hardest ones. Did I get I never actually did targets. I never really did a actions. So I'm thinking that I might have some sort of modifier or action keys that do specific things. Like moving is a mode that you would pretty much just go into. We have put down, which I think we do as object interaction with empty space, is what that comes down to. We have pick up, which is object with bare hand, really, and that's and these are like the opposite of that. We have combine, which is object with plus object. So really, this is like all objects, including empty space, bare hand. Well, if we make it tiles, that resolves some of the click problems. You can still have animals and things that move. Well, okay, how about we do move. It's kill or drop, but really that's kill and drop intent-wise. And then drop was one of those cases, but I just want to get all of these down. Use swap. Got move, we got put down. We've got pick up container. Remove from container, and that kind of ends up including swap because that's, well, the only way to remove it if you're holding something. We have eat feed, drop again. We have eat put in. I mean, really it would be put in backpack. And of course we have add, remove clothing is a thing that needs to happen, but I think that's more that's person interact. So that's all of the things that are kind of in the base game. And we want to compress that down to move, drop, use, pickup is all going to be object interaction. That does leave pickup container versus remove from container. Eat feed. That, you might have to do all of this as like person interaction, and then it's a little bit of contextual. And I guess that would be like person interaction with a knife would be a kill. Basically, as the current click works. So move object person is kind of what I was thinking about. That just leaves this awkward thing with insert remove. Do you pick up the container or do you remove something from the container? Now, we could still use right-click for that. And my main reason not to want to do that is that you already have this kind of left-click, right-click confusion when dealing with objects. And that's one of the things I wanted to try and fix, although cleaning up move versus object would help a lot. And having that filter out people would help a lot. And that would end up being a little bit similar to the people filter in that, like, right-click is interacting with stuff inside a container versus the thing itself. I still get the clicks confused. So we still have left, right. And maybe we end up leaving left, right on people as well. So I think that leaves us with 3 modes, and we have to decide if we want to change default mode or not. Or just leave default as default. So we've got move mode, and because that's definitely one you're not going to want to be holding a key for. You would want... Could you make... Well, if we make screen lock objects, then you can't feed yourself. And I keep wanting to lock into there. And I guess I could do a people lock. People screen lock for eating. Maybe both of these modes screen lock. And then both of the modes are modifiers, and the default mode is move. So then the question is, how big of a pain is it going to be to implement this? Also, this is going to kind of touch some of my previous patches, so I might have to reorganize things. Okay, so that built also... Yeah, not build upload. So actually, I should do a little bit of updating there. Did I already have a browser for this? All right, so we need to get to patches, readme. So edit. Did I never update this post? This is kind of the sum total post. Yeah, I guess I never did. That is right after custom git ignore. Oh, right, because that was kind of background stuff. Oop. Patches master. Yeah, maybe I'll find more. Okay, so there's that. We need to edit this. And then, so we still got this? Yes. Duo 4.10 fixes some patch conflicts and adds some version mismatch checking. Yep, and that copied the bug, typo. And actually, that's, yeah. All right, so that's taken care of. So we were looking at living life page. So a couple of patches modify this stuff. I might need to reorder things. And we've got you. Or I could leave those. I mean, I guess they're useful as patches by themselves. But actually looking at the things they modify might be instructive. Patches master, so click through trees. All right, we got a setting for it. So we effectively skip that check. We removed a hit from check pointer for hit. And there was an additional check here for certain objects. Right, so we essentially changed what we considered a hit. Okay. And it was click through heads. That also had a setting. This is definitely going to need a setting. Should move camera is essentially the inverse of screen lock. Then we do object behind. Yeah, so basically we're going to have to mess with either the hit detection or how we respond to hit detection. It's kind of like we should be messing with what the pointer hits at all, but some of the the highlight effects would be useful. So STG attempt to differentiate click modes. And maybe I should do an explicit move mode at first. Till we work out, well, having explicit object and person modes would be nice. And then we just have to double back. We've already got auto run as a auto run is a sort of move mode, but sometimes you'd want to just move. Let's see. I guess we just call it click modes, huh? Or interaction modes. STG series. Okay, I did put it here. So we've got check for pointer hit. I think is, yes, that does the pointer hit record, which is used by pointer move to do highlights, and so I'm guessing this is pointer down, pointer down. Okay, for those two things. So highlights would be a nice bonus. Yeah, we probably have to do pointer hit. In some, we have to adjust the behind. We're going to adjust the hit detection in some cases. But you still want to detect that something is like an object is behind a person because you want to be able to highlight it up. We may want to do that in different ways. Well, I guess I need to, well, I could hard code which mode we're in at first. So I don't want this to be Boolean, logically speaking, although it would probably be easier to implement. You have Nortol objects, prefer objects over players with screen lock. Static int interaction mode. Enum. We're probably going to want to be able to default that. So that's the only enum here. What is it? Shift width? Yeah. For JSON style. So not message type. So we're going to have, I guess we'll leave it at, yeah, very often we do interact default, interact, move, interact, which there is already sort of a flag for that. But that gets flipped in various places. Interact, object, interact, person. And then very often, I don't know if we need this, we do interact count, or actually, what was it? Did you do this? Very often you put a counter on it. Nope, okay. Oh, and it's type def enum. What was it, message type? And it is the same, okay. All right, so this is something we probably want to just kind of rough in. So I guess the obvious... Yeah, I think it'd be awkward if we ended up doing like OMP. Because that right now it's kind of set up where you've got, okay, your tab, your shift, your space. So it'd probably want to be like some left-hand stuff. And then we don't have WASD movement, there's that. And he's got E as the right click. So key down. Key down. And we'll also have to do key up. So where's he does space bar? I think I missed it. So speech X. Ooh, there's already an X. Startling. Okay, so we could probably alternate off of that. Or do something with that. There's already a Z. But all it's checking is Z key down. And then key up is checking for that key up, which will also So the native style of this is not to use an enum, it's to check all the individual things, but only one interaction mode should be active. Even if we hold multiple keys, it should be somehow responding to that. Okay, there's space. Alphabetical might make sense for this, although I don't think that's exactly how it works. So we've got, I don't know, ZXC. We could maybe use regular space screen lock as one of them, but I don't know if I want to do that right now. We've got Z and X. I guess I could use different keys for Neo and then see if we want to move those. Well, others start to get awkward. So we want to say, and not say field is focused. Well, say field is focused, probably true. There are probably other conditions to consider here, but we want to say Interaction mode, just pick one. And unfortunately, X is up there. So we can't get all of these in one screen. X is our second one, so we're going to interact object. Oh, this is checking both. Well, I don't really care about shift that much. We could add that in. Let's see, so there's Z, there's E. Oh, I might need to do, yeah, if I'm adding a key, I need to do that. And then interact person. And then we need to check all of these keys on key up. So I guess that would be the reason to track each key individually. You could press one and then release it, and if you're still holding the other one, interaction mode equals interact default. And then, yeah, I could try to make this much alphabetical, I guess. R, X, X, and really you could do more of these, but that's more of a straight up, or you could do more of these in one go. That should be fine. Let's just do, and then we can set ourselves up for later. OneLife.exe to build Windows OneLife v204. OneLife.exe. Oh, that's going to run it. We want to copy it. Alright, so that seems to be fine. Now the hard part. So pointer down, there is ground click, force ground click. Where does that get used? So that gets set and reset in various places that have a certain intent with doing that. So I don't really want to mess with that flag. While it's true that we could turn that on, we would get messed up by the places that currently turn it off. So this one will be easy. So that's setting, setting, resetting, setting, resetting. So that one will be easy. We just check the same thing. Mouse down equals true. And that is actually a different interaction than we're doing. This is kind of for fake clicks. This would still be a mouse down action. And then that's... Probably don't care about that. Continuous movement mode. Well, this isn't necessarily going to be continuous movement mode. First ground click equals false, equals true, false. Okay, so this one should be relatively straightforward. This is check for pointer hit. Yeah. Or interaction mode equals interact move. If not, then it's down. This is checking for fake clicks. This is checking for mouse hold or automatic clicks. Okay. So that one might be easy. Okay, now build. Oh, I have to restart my server after uploading that. Package server run. And 204 settings auto login. And then we want to get you up and pinned. Oh. Something in the interaction sound created a player creation sound for Eves now. Right, because everything's preloaded, so it can actually catch that as an event. Okay, so normal interaction mode, we walk up to things, we interact with them. I've got the click through tree thing, which already helps a lot. So if we do that, we're just running and we're not interacting with things. So that almost removes the need for click through trees, but because you have a straight up movement mode. And we can't like walk through a tree or anything. Okay, so that's an easy one. Let's see, I want to get stuff in the other window. STG series. And then we did update on the capture. Yeah, capture. STG series, STG refresh, capture that state. So the next one is we want to force an object mode. It's probably going to be in pointer down, where we're deciding, well, it's going to be... We essentially ignore hit person, I guess. And I may want to automatically lock screen for these other modes, but that can come. So this is going to have to do something with the hit record. Pointer hit record. Well, it's P. Hit our hit self, hit our placement behind. Things we might have to update. P hit clothing. Hit an object, hit another person. So the things that we want to update, well, we're going to want to do hit an object to an extent. Cur mouse over person. In that mode, we basically want to not consider the people for one. Cur over person. Fade cell in. Okay, so you think this is... Oh, no, that's more than one. What is this? Pointer down. Okay, so what was the other one? Pointer move. We might want to adjust the highlights as well. The clicks are the big thing. So I'm kind of thinking... we just remove those for object mode. If interaction mode is equal to interact object, and there's other things we're going to need to do. We're just going to say p hit other person equals false. And p dot hit self equals false, which I guess is a lot like that might affect when it draws things in. Let's see if something finer tuned. So we care about that, not messing over an object or person. But is this in pointer down or pointer move? Oh, is that a global variable? Cur mouse over person. So we want to represent that. Oh, geez. Is this pointer down or pointer move? This is pointer move. We want the other one. So this captures that and then resets all of this stuff. Direct tile clicking on top of tile objects. Okay, yes. Well, we're already kind of taking care of this, so it just shouldn't be a problem. Clear mouse over cells. We might have to tweak. Force ground click, so that's movement. Hit self. Click on self. So this would be something we would ignore. So this would be interaction mode not equal to object and not equal to... Well, we already skipped it for move. Although we could say equals default or interact person would be more true to how that's supposed to work. Now I guess I could do this with bits, and then you could do masks, but that's... I don't think we're gonna have that many modes. So there's hit self. Is this still pointer down? This is check for pointer hit. Okay, so hit other person. Okay. I wish I could tell when I was in the same function. If P hit other person else... Oh, player on closest tile. Oh, so you can click on a tile, but I guess it still gets interpreted as a put down. So we shouldn't even be attempting a kill in... Is this only mod click? Yeah, this is only for a deadly object. Check, but this is a possible kill. Hey, Rebelfelt, how's it going? So it's like, we don't even want to check for the person if we're not in person mode. Not kill later. Too far away, but try to kill later once we walk there. Other person ID. Okay, so this is, we're checking the specific case. Otherwise, code below will get it. So because of this, it's actually kind of easier to put this in. Yeah, it's a challenging code base. Jason also doesn't like using sub-functions, so seeing the high-level structure is very, very hard. Interact person. Oh, I might actually need to check back. Yeah. I very nearly messed myself up there. And actually, it's getting to be a bit of a long line. There's no way to do that as it preserves that. That was, even that doesn't quite fit. Yes, I know I'm not done yet. Oh, did I not actually get to type? Oh, because I'm still searching backwards. Yes, it's... Okay, so... Oh, and he likes this spacing style. Or... I mean, I could almost say if it's not equal to blah, 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 but... Interact default, and then that does overlap. So that has no more syntax errors. The other person. Where is this? Did I wrap around? Where is this? That's the pointer down. So what's going on here? Oh, and dying. And, oh, this is for healing. Which we would not do any... Can I just grab... Okay, so that removes that case. Not kill later and not mod click for non-kill. Use on baby. I could remove all of this by hit other person, but well, I guess I could see if it's used. Hit other person. Because there's places where he uses it for the highlight, but I think that may have actually been covered by the curve mouse over. Hit an object false. Ooh. Well, if we set it to false, then it doesn't matter, so... Now where is this? Is the thing. Oh, this is back at 17. Ooh. This might be hit detection, in which case I am going to have to modify this for the modes. Because that is actually blocking object hits. Yeah, or we're probably have to do something with that. But I think we wrapped around there. So it's looking like it would be easier to nuke. That was in the move one. Yeah, to nuke that from here. Because we're not really using it in any ways here other than capturing that one hover thing. Interact move. So we're simply going to remove this case by knocking out hit self. We're going to remove that case by knocking out hit other. Move that case. Move that case. It's not and that curve select over is the only reason that we need to keep on detecting it in hit detect. I think we got into hit detection here. Pointer down. Hit other person. So this is where we might have to watch this as well. Let's run the C syntax. Switch. Actually, he probably does it this way. Interaction mode. Case. Interact default is going to be nothing. Actually, that's pretty much going to be, well, we could call it one in particular. Interact. We did it as move. This will be another way to do the, yeah, because effectively this. Because it's effectively that. So we might be able to remove that other click remover there. And this is going to be kind of similar to some of these other things. Interact object. Now, I don't know if this is right. So if we're doing interact object, we don't want to hit self, we don't want to hit other person. if we're interacting with an object, I might still want to do that. I don't know yet. And I guess interact default would be the default. If we're interacting with a person, it might still be hit something, but it's not hit an object. Hit our placement, I'm not sure about. There's hit our placement behind. Already hit a short object, and this object is tall. Hit an object. Yeah, that one I'm not sure about. Exactly when that happens. That might be like an internal hit detect. Yeah, that seems like an internal hit detect field for the most part. So I don't think we have to care about that. I think hit means hit something. Hit and hit other person. Hit false, hit false. I don't think we want to clear that for specific things. I know. Oh no, I have these backwards. I'm not sure about that one. Oh, hit object, no. This might end up implementing too much at once, but we'll see. On interact person, actually, there is a different thing that I want a tile that the person is in, possibly the extended person, to register as a hit. I'm going to have to get another person. Let's see if... Actually, I was trying to do interact object, really. So hit self, hit other person. And maybe that's enough? There's probably going to be some UI things. Oh, died already, huh? Okay, so default mode. Interact with object, interact with self. If I go into object mode, we do that. Okay, so it's not counting as... There's visual things, but it's definitely not... Okay, it's not interacting with the person, but it's also not interacting with the object. And it's not attempting to use the object if I hit the space around it. Because you can get a berry, for instance. I would like to say I want to interact with that tile, or with the thing in that tile. So there's that. Now interact with person mode, interact with person. If I'm standing here, I guess I want a bigger object. Where would that be? There's an object here, there's a person behind it. Okay, it doesn't interact with the object, but we would want to get highlighting going at some point. It helps a little bit. Although I'm still moving. So moving is something I actually want to block in interact mode, or just moving rather. Okay, so interact object, it is still blocked by the person. So we take that off. So there's the whole hit our placement, and there was a hit our placement behind. Because I know that's what I messed with for clicking behind the head. So maybe I have to get it where it does that highlight effect. Hit an object false. Oh, hit our placement. What is hit our placement? Dist less than min dist that hits. This is so gnarly. Hit our placement behind. Hit prefer. Yeah, so that's related to that. Then we want to hit our placement behind if we're behind the person. So there's hit our placement. So hit our placement behind gets used. Where do we ever check that? M curse mouse over behind. Is in pointer move, which is only doing the highlight effect, I think. Draw any highlighted. All right, so that's just doing the highlight effect. Which we need actually, so interact. I need to check exactly what that does, but I'm curious if that would at least give me the highlight effect, if not the actual click. Or if it would have weird effects. Okay, so that does not automatically give it to you. It's still detecting... Well, that's the pointer. So it's not automatically giving me that. That tables everything. So what is hit our placement? Closest cell. Hit an object. Hit our placement. Or hit a short object. So initially that gets set to true just if there's a tile in the object. Okay, so we always do that. So I think that means we hit an thing there. So okay, it's still object. It's short. But the problem is we can nuke it if we hit a person. If we didn't hit a person, that blocks it. So I don't want to just disable collision with people, Because then you can't get that highlight effect if it's actually there. So hit our placement, and there's a person in the way. Hit an object, hit an object. What if someone is standing behind it? So it's either hit an object is not equal to true, or we upgrade it to a hit. Not sure what the distinguishing thing there is, because it's checking for these two conditions. And, well, I guess we could have hit something without hitting an object. Anyway. And our interaction mode, I guess this would just be not equal to interact object, because we would do this, we'd still do this in default, we would not do this in move. Well, no, in move we just ignore everything, so it's sort of okay. Okay, we can't interact with it, and we don't get the highlight effect. We didn't hit a person that blocks it. Oh, and then we recheck them down here. Get closest object part. Hit other person. So this is looking for a person behind an object. Well, no, because that just still counts as a hit, though. Oh, but it's still returning hit other person. But then we ignore that? All right, what did I do for... Was it ignore? Ignore tall objects. Prefer objects over players. So we may have to set this. What function are we in? But I hit our placement behind. Oh, well, it sets hit to true. And then hit our placement behind, I think, is only used for that, which is in turn only used for the effect. Draw highlight. Yeah, that itself is only used for the highlight effect. Oh, the continue is what's important here. That's where where we skip all this people detection. But if I'm turning off the people hits, and that's continuing. Oh, maybe the cell reset is what the problem here is. Well, its closest cell is XY. Check for pointer hit. Okay. And then where is closest cell is click dest. So if we hit our placement, we set that. If we hit certain other objects, we reset it to their base. If we hit a person, we reset it to the person, and we're looking at the object behind the person's head. That's tall object. Stuff again. This is person behind it. We're not resetting it. Where is this? Okay, so this is the person behind an object. And then click dest. This is pointer move. So I think the problem we're having our tall objects prefer objects is ought this continue. We're actually not. We're doing a hit a placement behind, but not actually doing this. So we essentially were patching a patch. So this is caring about that stuff. So the easiest thing here is going to be actually just to make a new test case. If interaction mode equals, this is specifically interact object, that we would skip people. And hit our placement. Then we skip out on that. So it looks like we... Yeah, because this, I think it's the cell reset, not necessarily the object that's messing us up. I guess I could munge some code to test that. Well, there's also the thing that removes object hit. If we hit a person... no. So we would have to deal with that. Well, no, because it removes that we hit an object. I think that I could maybe refresh that from hit our placement. How about something we can hit repeatedly? But we're not doing the tile behind. And then I can't eat, so I go into person mode. We definitely, well, I still want to get, I wanted to do more severe changes to that. So the interesting thing I was curious about is if I just temporarily disable that. Well, hit our placement behind, it actually might actually be an important to that to the overlay effect. But as far as the actual click, okay, yes, it's highlighting the object, it's not doing the placement behind thing. So that's definitely doing it. I don't know if there's going to be any side effects of that. So that, I mean, hitting a person shouldn't even be an issue there. I guess there's the person behind object. I'm not sure how that works out. So that's a step. I'm not sure when interact person is going to matter. Yeah. So we did that. Oh, that doesn't page it. Okay, so we are removing that there as well, which probably isn't necessary because we're not hitting the person in this version. Which actually makes this unnecessary kind of as well. Okay, so that still seems to be working. So we capture that little change. So people mode. Maybe I could do like if I tracked individual key flags, I could maybe do like person object mode does close and person mode does eat. But that might be getting too complicated. Anyway, one of the things I want to look at is what do we do in the different modes? I don't know if this is going to be hit detect or pointer down, where we issue a move command by not hitting something. Update move speed, move total time, start moving. Path to dest. Must move might be it. What's all this? Can execute. Move to empty adjacent. Not can execute. Or pickup action. Thanks for a baby. Move to an empty spot where we're not already standing. Can interrupt current move. If dest ID equals 0, so I think that means no object, and it's not a right click. I'm not trying to pick up baby, not using baby later. And it's not our current location. So I want to say we don't want to move. Ooh, if it is not move. default, yeah, actually we might be able to do a cheeky else here. So pretty much, if interaction mode is no, because those modes, I only want to exclude this case. I don't necessarily want to exclude this case. Interaction mode. So we would want to move by default. And then this thing has a bunch of conditions, although it sort of excludes those conditions by having that. This might just be interact default. Because if I'm in a mode, or interact move might be important. And we want yep, and that person starved. Okay, so I was in object mode, and we still moved. So that wasn't it. We're in person mode, and we still move. We're in move mode, and we still move. Okay, let's didn't break anything. What did we... Did I forget to rebuild? No. Can't actually get close enough to execute actions, because there's another place that can happen from. And we do go down and consider this case. If it's a mod click and we can drop something, or try to pick up maybe, or dest ID not equal to 0. I think dest ID requires we hit it. And not hit an object. Empty space near an object is kind of exactly what I want. But where are you coming from? Oh, that's the map slot. That's exactly what I want. If it's greater than 0 and hit an object, which means we hit the thing itself. In object mode, I might not want to care about whether we hit it. Empty space near an object. So there's definitely one way I can cheese this. Now we want the function. We can say, if we're in interact object mode, if Oh no, dest ID is not in the hit record. Dest ID equals 0. Okay, typoed something there. So if dest ID maybe I should be going back to my hit detector to the check for pointer hit here actually. Because it's probably doing all the subselect stuff, and I really want kind of just a simpler test here. I want click dest index OID mousing over occupied space. We're going to, oh, we probably get the object and then do stuff with that, don't we? Well, we haven't gotten it yet. Get object record, get object height. And then we have obj, which starts doing, well, we still have to record the ID. Do we not? Does pointer hit not record the object? Pointer hit object does not hit record the object. I guess they just figure you can get it back super easy. So we saw that it was object here. Get closest object part. Dist. Hidden object true. I mean, I really just want to say, if OID is greater than 0, just hit it. Oh. I'm gonna have to see how that interacts with empty slot put down messages and things. So this one we might be able to cheese a little bit. Because this is actually a case where we, well, we could also have pointer hit just say, well, if dest ID is greater than 0, then I don't care what you saw. But this doing it here kind of makes everything else work better, I think. Because then just everything else is just, oh, we hit the object, so we're going to interact with it that way. If interaction mode equals interact object, so this is specifically for objects, so it's fine to only do object here. Oh, we want to do just this. We can't hit a slot index if we don't perform the check. So that turns this into, we have to modify this condition, or we could just add a condition. There was definitely an object here. Now, well, hopefully that will be a non-invalid value if that's the case. Or it will be a value the game can properly interpret if it's not a direct hit. Did I have an object here? No. Okay, so an object mode. And, ooh, I even get the highlight for, yeah, it's like if we have a berry, I can just pick it up by the tile. And it doesn't move me around, not necessarily. If I interact with an object, I go to pick up the object. I guess you're always going to move anyway if you miss, but we're actually, you don't have to worry about micro-targeting it as much. Okay. It's not even move mode, so I'm probably going to want a screen lock during this. And we don't care about tall objects, we just get the tree if we're in the trees tile. Oh, and now we've done that. Yeah, because that doesn't move. I might have to think about the move thing, but I did specifically have a move mode. Okay, object. And I'm gonna have to do I'm gonna have to do the reverse for people at some point. Okay. For person mode. Does that? Okay, and something we did also stops moving around in person interact mode. So that's a step. So I guess I can go ahead because I know some of these patches do complain about trailing space. Maybe you want to clean them up, or when the other thing applies them. This one doesn't complain as much. All right. So that gets, it might have object mode mostly working. Well, it'll take a lot of testing. And I might be able to easily get a basket to make sure that all that stuff's working. Okay, so we're going to start out. We're in movement only mode. Don't have to worry about picking up random stuff, although you also have to switch to object mode. And then we move over here. Can we find 2 reads? It'd be convenient. Not this move mode. Wait. Oh. I need to do something about the blank tile when you're holding an object. Okay. Okay, and then I need 2 objects to test, make sure cycling is fine. Oh, that was the other thing. I'm not sure I think I might actually want that to be a set down interaction. Okay, so containers seem to be okay for the moment. So I kind of wanted to be object, like pick up object, put it over there kind of thing. What is... But that's strictly handled by... Actually, that's going to be handled in pointer down by the alt click. Next action dropping. Add to own clothing container. Mod click and dest ID equals 0 and R like up. Too far away, so that let's kill. Action equals drop. Dest ID not equal to 0. So to send a drop message right now, it's always, it's remove, it's use. If can execute. Okay, well that means we have to set this up somewhere else. Mod click not equal to 0. Oh, so that handles all right clicks. Use drop modifier or pickup action. That's a lot of little cases there. So we've taken that out of here. Huh. Interact default or interact move. This would be... Well, actually, I guess what we're really doing is the mod click here. But it'll be... this got a little bit long too, didn't it? Oh, he's got an interesting alignment here. Oh! He did prefix conditions on this one. Okay. And let's see, and I know this is going to be interact object. This might only be interact object. And that's aligned with that parenthesis. So drop is actually a separate thing at the protocol level. That's interesting, because I just thought of it as like a bare ground interaction. All right, so if I pick something up, ooh, so there must be further checks for mod click. Or and rlive holding ID equals 0 and dest numbed contained. Oh, no, if mod click and dest ID equals 0, then it's a drop. So this is where we have to consider remove. num container slot, so that's a drop into container, which does get taken care of by left click. So this is where other special use on or use on floor transition. Yeah, there's enough code in here that it'd be annoying to reproduce that. If mod click or interaction mode equals interact object, I kind of wish there was a thing that determined what we were doing and then another thing. Okay, so that's just going to pick up and drop the basket. We still have this if we need to do stuff with it. We still have that. And we can pick up anywhere in that spot. Okay. So I think that takes care of one of the things I wanted. That's probably left over from the original code. So that might be all of object mode. Now, there were still some problems with person, namely, we want to be able to invert our priority to say, if there's a person anywhere, or if we're in person mode, I don't think there's no code to highlight a person. There was some kind of code for, so yeah, it detects the person. And I've got the tree mod, so it's already not doing that as much. But I would like, well, anywhere on their home tile, I guess. If we should do it anywhere around here is maybe another question. We might want to detect for that. And then the problem is you can sometimes be, and there's not currently any code to highlight a person, which could be a pretty big undertaking, but we are preferring this gooseberry bush here. Whereas in person mode, we would rather, okay, we're not interacting with the gooseberry bush, but we actually need to detect the person. So we find our object. Then we've got our loop for big objects. Hit other person already. Where are we hitting other? Oh. Okay. Now, people in this row. Person clicked, get closest object part. What does the layering there? Out of range, held by someone, recently dropped baby. Current pause, person clicked. Okay, that's the object. Interact object. Drawn behind objects. I don't think that includes berry bushes. Berry bushes are a little bit tall, I guess. But this says if we hit a person. And we don't... Well, no, that hit a person. Or actually, it's hit self in this case. Oh, hit an object and not hit self. Is it actually too low for a collision down there? No, it's not. It's tall-ish. Which little piece of code is doing that? Okay, so the first thing we're interested in is... did we hit self? Okay, yeah, just a regular there. We shouldn't have other person. Oh, maybe I'm needing to adjust more of my flags for my pointer stuff. Hit an object. I think hit includes hit person. No, that's not it. Okay, well. Hit self. And then what it interacts with that? Person blocked object. We didn't hit a person that blocks it. And not hit self. So the problem is that we use this lots of times when we're not in a specific mode, or just for pointer hover. Also, what does my standout look like? Looks like it's been reset pretty good. We may not have hit self, depending on how that worked. So we did not do that. We're not screen locked. I know we can check for objects behind, so I don't think... This could be a tricky one. Oh, then we've got all our surrounding objects. Oh, this is technically a thing in a different row. Oh, so that turns out, that might turn that into a hit. All right, well, that particular case is going to take some work, as is probably all of player mode. Oh, I guess what I didn't check for was... No. We weren't hitting any of those. And we want to set this up. E-games, one life. So we can actually play it later. Check our patch. Oh, like there's still a bunch of other flags there. I think hit was used for... Oh. Hit an object. Get closest object part out of... Hit an object and not hit a person. Well, this could be person standing behind it. Yeah, I'm going to have to... Everything he does here is based on closest object part, so... we like to get it to tile of the person. So this, we don't know if that's doing anything. Clothing contained, hit true. Yeah, so hit is still used. I don't know what it is that might be overriding things. So now UI. Now the move mode, I can probably not worry about because it does kind of the same thing as auto run. So for long distance travel, I've got that. Although there are times when I'm like creeping through. Oh, actually there was the one little bug in that object mode. Object mode? I thought it was like when you were holding, yeah, if you're holding an object, of course you, yeah, say regular mode, interact, object mode is drop. And there's to use in the tree. Oh, so you can screen lock separately for now, which is a little bit annoying. Arguably, object mode and person mode should screen lock. So we've got space somewhere. Although my one patch might actually make that awkward, because that's going to make screen lock ignore the person. Not interact move. Interact object, definitely. And then key up. See, so Z is the move mode. Okay, so that makes object mode. Oop, that was an empty spot. So I guess the disadvantage of making this a drop interaction is you might drop something when you don't want to. But if you're just using stuff, it means you don't have to worry about left and right click as much. The only time you have to right click is when dealing with the container. Person mode also, well, it doesn't move, so might not be an issue. Oh, does that make person mode not good for eating? Because of the other patch. Okay. I ate just, oh, well, it's with an object behind specifically. So object mode. Yeah. So that is, so the easy way to do this is to take this off of person mode. And then we can come back and see if, I mean, I guess the other feature is less, well, this kind of obviates the screen lock feature. Or the behind head when screen lock. So I might just be that you would disable that. Yeah, okay. And that still gets to there. So we're doing objects. That was an object interaction, object interaction, object interaction. Okay. And then there's still a lot of tweaking we want to do. So buffer notes. Okay, so for this stuff, we have click-through heads plus screen lock on person mode. We have percentile targeting. We have kills and other such. We've mostly been checking self now. Oh, the big problem we're having. What was it? Bush blocks player in player mode. That's one of the big problems we're having, which might kind of go in with percentile targeting. Just have it target the, well, that still gets us to lower half from trying to eat, which is where I was before. So you would want the click on the person or the person's standing tile. Okay. Yeah. And the only other thing I have to deal with is that I went and mapped a bunch of alternate stuff to a keypad. So we're already set up pretty good now. I think I mainly use this one. So we could do it's object mode. Person mode, and then I would just have to put space somewhere else. Oh, that's the button that broke. I still want to poke at that, see if there's anything I can do. Oh, actually it clicked. Maybe it fixed itself. But that's somewhere else. So we'll try that out. But I think that's as much as I want to do today. These are looking like they could get gnarly to figure out. And watch it take 5 minutes next time. But I do want to eat lunch at some point so I can get on to actually playing the game this afternoon. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hosting. Let me see if I can find anything to recommend. And, ooh. I actually missed a couple of those, huh? Anyway. That's about when I'm normally streaming. So code in the mornings, again in the afternoon, Saturdays, the 1 hour, 1 life day. Let's see, nobody I know playing. What do we have code-wise? There's some more game development. And yeah. Working for someplace cool to hang out. Among those, someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye.